I'm about to show you a secret, like an actual real like industry secret that if you use, you will be ahead of other people who want to do digital products and online business and passive income and all the things, but don't take the initiative to do. So digital products and MRR and like all of this stuff got really big a few years ago. And I've been teaching and selling and doing digital products for like a decade. But because of TikTok, everybody sees these videos where they're like, go create this thing on Canva and sell it here, and then you can make $10,000 a month. And they start to get very like digital product curious, which I'm here for. But then the actual like steps to make that digital product happen, to make all of this work, to actually make that money, they're missing those steps. And so I will get a lot of comments and questions from people in my real life who are like, oh, how do you actually create those digital products? Like I see you create videos about that, but like, how do you actually do that? Or, you know, like, oh, what do you do? And I'll be like, oh, I sell digital products. And they'll be like, oh, I've seen about that. Like, how do I do that? Someone in my real life just the other day saw one of my Facebook ads and was like, so what do you teach in this? And I'm like, I teach you how to create and sell digital products. And they're like, what kind of digital products? I'm like, whatever the hell you want to create, okay? I think there's a lot of confusion and a lot of like blah around digital products. And not only do I love digital products, I also love ChatGPT. So today I'm going to show you how to use ChatGPT to build a digital product side hustle or full-ass business if you want to, because you can use ChatGPT almost every step of the process to make this so much easier. Somebody just started weed eating like really close to my house, but I don't have insanely close neighbors and nobody in my house is weed eating. I gotta figure this out. It's my neighbor, and apparently they just have a really, really loud weed eater. Anyway, so disclaimer, before I actually get into this, I am not a fan of creating digital products that invoke expertise when you're not an actual expert in that thing. So I want to put that disclaimer here completely, because people are going to be able to tell when ChatGPT was the only knowledge that went into the thing. So if you're not actually a marketing expert, if you're not actually a photography expert, if you're not actually you know, a potty training expert, don't pretend like you are and let ChatGPT create you an entire digital product and put it together, because people are going to be able to sniff that out from a mile away. And the real power here is in being able to build your digital product like library and funnels and things like that. So don't fake expertise. That would be my biggest thing. Again, people can tell it from a mile away, and there's just going to be a bunch of really cookie cutter digital products out there for your industry if everybody starts doing that, and that's kind of garbage, and we don't want that. Asterisk to that disclaimer, there are digital products that you don't have to be an expert in to create. So for instance, y'all have heard me talk about this, but one of my very first and very most successful digital products was a digital planner. I am not a planner expert, but also like, what is a planner expert? Like, what does that matter, right? Like, I had the skills to design a planner and I sold it. So understand that like, I'm talking about knowledge when I say that, because there are definitely some like cookie cutter things that if you have the skills, you can create without being like an expert in that industry. There are essentially 3 phases to the digital product process to get us from like $0 to $10 or $100 or like your first $1,000, whatever you want to insert there. And that is to ideate, create, and sell, right? Like, you've got to do those 3 things. And I do think that a lot of times people struggle in the ideate phase, but also they struggle in the how to sell it phase. So ChatGPT can come in clutch throughout all of this. Oh, before I get started telling you all these prompts and all of these ways to use ChatGPT, I've actually put together a ton of the prompts that I'm going to talk about, or prompts that I know will help you ideate, create, sell your digital product, and put them in a Google Doc for you to grab for free. So the link will be below in the description. All you have to do is put in your email and I'll send that over to you, and it'll be all of these little prompts that you can just copy and paste and do all of the things we're about to talk about in this video. So let's use ChatGPT to ideate. The first thing that you're going to want to do is feed ChatGPT the information that it needs to be able to ideate, create, and sell for you, or help you with those things in the best way possible. And what I mean by that is, who are you trying to talk to? What kind of problems are you trying to solve? What kind of business do you run? What kind of business do you want to run? Like those types of things. So first and foremost, you need to tell ChatGPT all of that information. Who are you talking to? What do you want to help them solve? Where do you want to get? Like kind of your goals, your idea, the reason you're creating this digital product, etc. First little pause here. If you don't know, use ChatGPT to help you figure it out. You can go into ChatGPT and you can use a prompt like this one where you're like, hey, I have a background in X industry and I really enjoy this work. I want to create a digital product business, but I don't know exactly who my person will be, exactly who would want these things. Can you help me figure this out? And then let ChatGPT workshop this with you. So for instance, I came up with a brilliant digital product idea for my husband. And I went to him and I was like, oh my God, you need to do this. And we could run Pinterest ads to it and you wouldn't even have to like be on camera or like do social media. It's like, we've got this. And he was like, okay, yeah. And the person that this is for, he's in the construction industry. The person that this is for is kind of like, you know, middle of the road income, middle of the road in knowledge, trying to figure out if they can afford to build a house or trying to like kind of dream up their idea to build a house. And he kept getting into the weeds. And I was like, think about your person. Who is this person? And he was like, oh yeah, okay, great. And so he had to like assign an actual person in his head. Like, oh, if I was talking to my sister, if I was talking to my mom, like, oh, whatever, how would I talk to them about this? And that's exactly what you need to do. So can you use ChatGPT to help you figure that out? If you don't need to do that, if you already know that, just tell it who you're trying to talk to, what you're trying to do, what problem you're trying to solve, and give it that basic information to begin with. Now, this is the real bread and butter, I think, for ChatGPT to help you come up with actual ideas, like product ideas. What am I going to sell? Because I think a lot of people get really, really stuck here. They're like, oh, well, what could I sell in X industry? Oh, what could I sell in Y industry? Or whatever. So what you want to do is you want to have just fed this information, ChatGPT, I am so-and-so, I help people do X, I have this expertise, blah, blah, blah. And then be like, I want to help insert audience here, get from point A, insert point A, to point B, insert point B, with a digital product. Can you help me brainstorm some ideas? And what I will say, I really like ChatGPT's responses here because you know, it could just be simple, right? Like an ebook or, you know, Canva templates. Like, I don't know what your industry is. However, ChatGPT also is decent at this point at being like, oh, why don't you sell a bundle? Why don't you have a bundle or a group of things? And so really take into consideration what it's spitting out to you. You don't have to do that exact thing, but it can really help you spark ideas. And I think that's where ChatGPT really shines, or any AI really shines, is when it gives you ideas. It's like, hey, here's the ideas I have. And you're like, wait, that was decent. I would have thought of that. I wouldn't have thought of that, but maybe I want to tweak it a little bit or like do something a little bit different. So for instance, if I go to ChatGPT and I say, you know, I want to create a digital product that helps people wanting to build homes figure out how to make their rough plans and their rough costs, can you help me come up with ideas? The ideas that it comes up with are decent. So it's got a mix and match. So interactive Notion or Google Sheets, video walkthroughs, PDFs, Canva style, vision boards, things like that. And then it also has like room by room worksheets, Pinterest to plan converter, build your home backwards mini course. So it has a lot of options here. And the way that I teach digital products, you need to bundle them up. You need to create funnels. You need to do those types of things to really make them like stick. And this is a great way to get an idea for every piece of the funnel along the way. And sometimes while it's coming up with your product ideas, it will also help you ideate names. But if it doesn't, let it help you ideate names. Be like, okay, great. What would you name this? And if you haven't worked within your ChatGPT, like if you haven't trained your ChatGPT to know who you are and what you do and your style and blah, blah, it may come out with like really cookie cutter like responses. But if you'll train it and be like, no, I'm a really like fun, bubbly person, or I really like stoic, serious things, or whatever, it's going to help you name things in a way that kind of fits with your personality. Now, you can actually have ChatGPT help you create your things too. And there's several different ways to do that. If you want to make an ebook and you have the basic information that you want to put in the ebook, or even if you don't, honestly, but this is also where we come into the like, is it ethical to create ebooks on things that you're not an actual expert in and just let ChatGPT do it? Probably not. So my recommendation is that you come up with the basic information that's going to be in the ebook, and then you feed that into ChatGPT. You copy and paste that into ChatGPT, and you say, okay, this is the information that I want in my ebook. Can you write up a short ebook that can be consumed in an hour to convey all of this in my tone, in this type of writing style, like whatever, thank you. And it will come up with this thing. You can go through and you can edit it, you can change it, like whatever, but it basically just created the entire ebook for you. Now you can also have it help you ideate like look and feel of things. So recently I wanted to create a new freebie, and I knew exactly what was going to go in it. The content was not really a problem, but I was like, oh, I really want to pass this off to my team, but I don't want to spend the time to be like, this is the look I want to go for, blah, blah, blah. So I went into ChatGPT and I was like, hey, can you come up with kind of like a look guide for this particular thing and describe what it will look like so that I can send it to someone to design it in Canva. And this is literally what it came up with, like all of these specifics to actually feed this into a human to create it in Canva. Now, you can actually use ChatGPT and Canva partnered together now to create things. So you can, in the Canva, like add on to ChatGPT, you can say, hey, I want you to create this. I find it to be not stupendous. So I wouldn't recommend it, but you know, telling it the vibe and the idea and the overall look and getting it to help you there can be a really great start to like remove that analysis paralysis. Let's say you're creating something like an e-course or, you know, an online course of some sort, and you know the information that's going to go in it, but you need help breaking it out into a process that's going to be really easy to follow, or naming each module, or you know, coming up with, you know, how they flow. Like ChatGPT can help you do all of that. Same thing with things like workbooks. You can type in like, hey, this is the workbook I want to create. Can you help me come up with the sections and the chapters and the pieces that are going to be really beneficial to get somebody from point A to point B? Now, obviously, you have to sell your digital product. Like once you create a digital product, you have to sell it. The good news is you can actually use ChatGPT for this part too. So like I mentioned in the beginning, I'm a big fan of putting your digital products in funnels and having bundles and things like that to increase your cart value. Because there's a really big difference in, oh, you know, I have this one thing for $5 or I have this entire bundle for $25. And when it comes to your bottom line, that big difference is a big difference, right? So in the selling section of how ChatGPT can help you, you can push it and say like, hey, this is my digital product. This is what I'm going to create. Can you help me come up with something else to add to this that is going to make it more valuable? Or I'm going to build out a funnel that's going to have a main offer, an order bump, and a one-time offer. Can you help me come up with those options? You can also have it write sales copy for you or help you write sales copy. So my favorite way is to go find somebody's copy that you really like, somebody's sales page that you really like, and feed it into ChatGPT, like copy and paste the copy from that person's sales page. Feed it into ChatGPT and say, hey, I want you to create copy like this for me for this offer in my style of voice, in my tone, etc. And let it at least start writing your copy so that you can take it from there and have really good copy for your sales page. I actually have one more thing to add under the sell section here that's like juicy, good, amazing, things probably other people aren't talking about. But remember that I have these ChatGPT prompts linked below in the description. So it's just a Google Doc where you can go and copy these prompts to help you ideate, create, sell, whatever, so that you can use ChatGPT in the way we've talked about here. So that's linked below, but let ChatGPT do your market research for you. Let it do your market research. This could fall under sell. This could also fall under ideate, but let it do your market research. You know you're going to sell X, Y, or Z product. You know you're going to sell it in X, Y, or Z way to X, Y, or Z person. Go into ChatGPT and have it find other people who are selling similar offers. Have it help you price your offer based on other information it finds out in the internet. Have it help you do analysis, like, do we think this will sell in this current market? Is it perfect? Absolutely not. But is it a good starting point? Yes. Okay, so especially once you download those ChatGPT prompts below, you have everything you need to know to use ChatGPT to create a digital product that you could literally create like this weekend, this week, whatever, whenever you're watching this, and make $10,000 a month. Like, no joke. Especially when you pair it with everything else that I have taught you on this channel about how to sell and create digital products. So if you're looking at creating a digital product, I'd love for you to tell me below exactly kind of what industry you're in and what digital product you're looking at. Especially if you go through these prompts and ChatGPT helps you figure that out, let me know in the comments below. This would be a fun little like brainstorm sesh. And until next time, bye.